Hey everyone, welcome back. In part 1, we successfully set up our project's foundation using Bolt. We got authentication working, created user profiles, and things were looking promising. Today's video is different. I started with the goal of building our entire SaaS using only Bolt, and what you're about to see is the raw reality of that attempt. Instead of showing you just the highlights, I'm going to share the actual challenges I faced, the slow builds, the failing deployments, and ultimately, the decision to switch tools. Why show this? Because understanding when and why AI tools break down is just as valuable as knowing how to use them. Let's dive in, and I promise you'll learn something useful, even if it's not what we originally planned. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back to the database issue we had before, and I'm going to make sure that it is properly set up here so that we have some sample data. I will make sure that the schema folder is lock all, okay? So here we don't have a way to specifically mention or copy that here, but we can tell Bolt the file name. Hopefully it will find it. Remember earlier we asked Bolt to remove the initialization. So now we're asking it to do the initialization again. So hopefully this time, since we already created the database in Firebase dashboard, it will succeed. It's updating the database TS. Bolt did a lot of updates here earlier. But how can we trigger the initialization? We can see here that it did update these two files, but it didn't update anything that will trigger or execute the changes it did. So we can see here that the route ts under this folder is being updated. All right, that's good, but let's ask it to initialize the database now. It did some kind of guard to prevent multiple initialization. There you go. It's updating the page again so that it will initialize the database. Right. So we have an issue here. Can't expand the problems. See if it did anything. No. Now let's try to attempt to fix the issues. Looks like it's having some issue with the database initialization here. There you go, starting database initialization. It's awaiting for this verify database connection. So let's look for it. It's under Firebase init database. It's difficult to work with this IDE. Okay, so after waiting for a while, it looks like the database connection attempt failed. So maybe I can grab this final one instead. Okay, so it's important to look at the Bolt console here for relevant information about the issue rather than clicking on the fix or attempt fix button all the time. Because as you've seen earlier, I did that with the database initialization issue, but it never attempted to fix the real issue. It just added some logging, improving the error handling. Maybe that's the system prompt for Bolt to better see the errors, always prioritize error handling and logging so that Bolt will be able to fix the issue easily. But if we keep on receiving the same error over and over again, we might end up in an endless loop. So that's why we need to do things differently. We will ask Bolt some other prompts and give it more relevant information like what I've just demonstrated right now. So it says here that it made several improvements. It did exponential back off. It won't help. I don't think so. Better error handling again. Increased timeout. Don't think it will do any good because right now it's starting to initialize the database. It's really difficult to look for a particular code here, but I'm not going to use any dev tools for this, as I've said earlier, just Bolt, just to emulate someone using Bolt exclusively. Aside from the fact that I'm committing my changes to GitHub, which is, I think, one of the most important integration Bolt can provide, I'm not using any other tools. So I'm just going to rely on what Bolt has to offer here, and let's see if Bolt will be able to complete this SaaS application on time or within the budget of 10 million tokens. Okay, so now I will nudge Bolt a bit because it keeps on improving the logging and error handling without really looking at the issue. So I will simply say, okay, we still have some issues here. Properly configure Firebase admin. Okay, so there's some unnecessary Firestore settings. Let's see the route here. Okay, so I'm trying to determine if this is worth trying because this is the exact same error we've been encountering earlier. Let's try it again. Starting database initialization again. So this is coming from the page.tsx. So we can follow the flow of execution here. So on homepage, it calls this initialize database, which is coming from the initialize db file, which is here. Firebase init initialize db. Okay, it's executing the API initdb, which is here. So this log is coming from this file. So the logger is outputting this information and it's calling the verify database connection, which is in the Firebase init database. So here. So it's not logging out this, which means it's executing this line here. So admin.collection underscore test. And then this is the max retries of 5. So now it is waiting for this test connection. Initialize connections is here. So maybe we can tell Bolt to skip the verification. Okay, so if we go to route, it initializes the collections immediately. Starting database initialization, initialize collections file. Let's go to that file. We now have this error. Let me just rerun the server. I will clear this up. Okay, let me go to Firebase. Let me refresh. So there's no, there you go. Admin initialized successfully, starting database initialization. At least we're past this Firebase admin initialize step. I'm not sure if it's doing some kind of connection to the Firebase database, but we can trace the execution flow. We can go to the page first. Up. Page. Initialize database, which is on initialize db file. Okay. Let's try that prompt. If this doesn't work, then I might ask Bolt to remove all the initialization files here and work directly with the Firestore database. Maybe it will simplify things. Okay. I will refresh. And I will push to GitHub the changes so far. And then I will tell Bolt to it executed this and then restarted the server. Alright, so it did remove the initialization files. Our dashboard is working, our logout is still working, the profile is still working. So everything still works. Let's tell Bolt to enable users to change their display name. We go to the profile page. I will ask Bolt to update this. So this way, Bolt will have something to work on while connecting to the database and fixing the issue in the process. So let me ask Bolt to. I still have 269K out of my 2 million free tokens. I still have 8 million more from my normal subscription. I have started with 2 million earlier, so I have consumed almost 2 million already. Okay, so the display name is there already. We can try to update this, although the text color is not correct. Okay, failed to update display name. Let's attempt to fix it. Yes, so that's what I'm hoping for. Okay, let's attempt to fix. So if we go to Firebase under authentication, actually under Firestore database, we should see the users collection here because that's where the users information, other information like display name will be stored. Let's go back to the profile page. We'll fix some of the small issues later. Right now, I'm trying to make the integration to the database work. If you encounter this slowdown, example, you click on something, nothing's happening, just wait or look at the code tab under the Bolt console here and you can see what's happening. It's compiling the profile/page because we're on the development environment right now. So let me set this to something else. All right. There's no more issue. So hopefully it works. Oh, there you go. So our database issue is solved. Let me go to Bolt again and change it to something else. All right. There you go. It updated automatically. So now we have a working code. I can download the code again and back it up in GitHub to make sure that our working code is safe. Maybe we can implement the pricing page just to make everything in the landing page clickable. You see here there's some issue with Bolt. It keeps adding or updating the .gitignore. We already asked it to do that before. Okay, so there's some nice pricing page there. Let me refresh just to clear out that rogue prompt regarding the .gitignore. So maybe this issue relates to why we are having some slowdown, but I'm sure I'm not alone. Anyway, let's proceed, implement. Okay, so now we're creating the tutorials, the content itself. Token check, I now have 31K remaining out of my 2 million free tokens. I still have 8 million more to work with. After this, we will ask Bolt to utilize all of these next because it created these files before. We don't have access to it. It's not wired up to anything. So that's why we can see it in our preview. So no tutorials available yet, but once this is done, hopefully there would be something displayed there. Afterwards, we will implement some kind of premium content and enable payment integration. Okay, so there's no tutorials yet. So now we can see here that the 2 million tokens has been exhausted. So now I'm back to my original 8 million tokens remaining. Okay, so I will ask Bolt to okay, let's try that. We need to initialize the tutorials data in the Firestore database and update the tutorials page. Start learning. All right, there you go. Let's go to Firebase. Let's try to refresh. Did it add a new collection? Not yet. Okay, so it updated the tutorials page to use local tutorials list instead of fetching from Firestore. I will lock the schema just to be sure. And then I will tell Bolt to utilize Firebase. Okay, nice. So it's creating a service specifically for tutorials data. So it created that file here. I will expect this to fail at first because this doesn't exist yet. Okay, so it created an initialize tutorial here. Earlier, we have the sample data.ts that I have asked Bolt to delete. Perhaps this is better. Let's go to that initialize tutorial. Let's try. Okay. All right, there you go. We now have tutorials collection. That's why we have this page right now. Okay, we will improve more on this later on. I will now demonstrate how to use the target. So you've seen how lock works, but how about target all or target if you want to target a specific file? So I will go to the tutorials page and I will focus on improving this page for now. I will right click on tutorials folder and target all, which will tell Bolt to target all those files. We can see the list of files under the lock list and the target list here. So now what I will do is, since this is related to theming, doesn't work right now, so I will go to the todo.md file and I will ask Bolt to fix this issue. Let's see if Bolt will be able to find this file and see what's inside. Let's ask Bolt one issue at a time, although this has some 4 issues underneath it. Remember, I'm targeting the tutorials folder here, so we can expect the changes to be applied here. Let's see. Okay, so this message was terminated because Bolt attempted to write to restricted files. Okay. Did I restrict theme provider? No, I did not. But possibly because we targeted only these files, that all other files became read-only. So let me remove all of this from the target list and try again. Okay, looks like it was able to see the to-do file and look inside and was able to read the theme persistence issue. I did not mention it here specifically, the theme persistence and transitions, but Bolt was able to figure it out. Nice. So from now on, we can use todo.md to implement the changes we need. Okay, let's try to fix the issue. It only updated this part of the page. Now it's updating that same file plus the page itself. Let's see, start learning, git branching. Okay. So it looks like the issue is still not fixed. It's unfortunate that we can see the path here. Perhaps we can use full screen. No. What I will do is I will now try to deploy this to Netlify so that we'll be able to see it as a real browser page. First, I will connect to my Netlify account. Okay, closed. Then I will deploy. Right now, it's building the application. So we could expect this to be more faster now than the npm run dev because it's optimized for production. Meaning we don't need to see the full source code and it will minify or compress the source files as small as possible so that it will load faster in the browser. Okay, let's attempt to fix it. Okay, so Bolt is having a difficulty here. It tried to run npm run export. Didn't actually fix the issue we encountered earlier, which is this. So let me help Bolt a bit. We don't encounter this when running npm run dev because npm run dev is a bit more relaxed or not as strict as npm run build. So it did update this page. So now we can, on a separate terminal, we can try to run npm run build. Oh no, it found another issue. This won't do. I will not be able to finish this even if I use up all my tokens here, it will take about 3 days to work with Bolt, something I don't have time for. I can easily fix this using Klein or other tools, but I may have to break the rule that I said earlier by using other dev tools because we're getting nowhere. You see, I have attempted it several times and the build is failing. So I guess what I will do is I will transition to another tool or tools to fix these and move along. So I will create or I will use Klein or Aider. Let's see what will happen in order to fix the issues here. And then perhaps we can go back to Bolt once everything is working. I don't know. It really is not something I can live with right now. It's very frustrating. I've spent 6 hours with this project already, wasting energy and time. For me, I think it's not worth it because I'm used to working with other dev tools that really produce results. Bolt produce results, but it's very staggered. I can see the consistency within the code even if I use the target and lock all or target all functionality. So now I have downloaded the latest version of this code. Then I will now pull the changes up to that point, and then I will use another tool. So there you have it. After 6 hours of working with Bolt, I had to make a tough decision. While Bolt is an amazing tool for certain use cases, especially for beginners or simple applications, it has limitations when building complex SaaS applications. Let's be clear about something. This isn't a failure of AI tools in general. It's about understanding the right tool for the right job. We successfully built our foundation with Bolt in part 1. But as our application grew more complex, we needed more control over our development process. In the next video, we'll switch to using Klein, a Visual Studio Code extension that gives us more direct control while still providing AI assistance. We'll fix these build issues and continue developing our application, but with a different approach. If you're building your own SaaS application, remember, knowing when to switch tools is just as important as knowing how to use them. Sometimes the best path forward is recognizing when you need to change direction. Don't forget to subscribe to catch part 3, where we'll rescue this project using Klein. Thanks for watching. Happy coding.